Hello guys, welcome to Academic Coordinates. Before us, we've got a quadratic inequality which is 4x squared is greater or equals to 5x minus 1. So we're supposed to solve this, right? And I'm going to show you guys two ways that you can solve quadratic inequalities in general using the graphical way or using the table method. So let's just dive right into it. So this is going to be 4x squared, right? Then we're going to bring 5x to the left-hand side, so it's going to be minus 5x, and then negative 1 to the left hand side, so it's going to be positive 1. This is greater or equals to 0. Then at this point in time, we are going to factorize here in this fashion. So it's going to be 4x and x, then the c term here is 1, right? And this is going to be a negative, right? So now we need to find the critical values. So from this bracket, we're going to find that x is equals to 1 over 4. From this bracket, our x would equals to 1. You know what I'm saying? So I trust that you guys can really appreciate the steps to do that. If you don't know how to do that, just let me know. I will just take you through. It's actually quite easier. Let me just put it. So it's going to be 4x minus 1 is equals to 0, such that 4x will equals to 1, and then if you divide by 4 on both sides, x will be 1 over 4. So now we've got the critical values, which are 1 over 4 and 1. So now, as I've said, that you should have an idea of how the function looks like, right? Let's have our Cartesian plane here. This is a quadratic function in this fashion. So now the critical values are going to translate to the roots of this function, right? Or actually the x-intercepts. So this is 1 over 4 and 1. This is the x-axis. Its equation is y is equals to 0. And then this is the y-axis. Its equation is x is equals to 0, right? Okay, so now we are being asked as to we've got 4x minus 1 times x minus 1 is greater or equals to 0. So what that is saying, it is asking us, where is this graph on and above the x-axis, you know? So it is asking us, where is this graph on and above the x-axis? You know what I'm saying? So let me just color that out. So it is asking us the values of x when the graph is on the x-axis and above the x-axis. So this is what we are looking for, and we should express that in terms of x, right? So now the points that you are looking for, it's going to be when x is less than 1 over 4, and not only less than, but less than or equals to 1 over 4, or when x is greater or equals to 1, right? So we can also express this using this notation. This e here is an element of, or it's a member of. So from negative infinity until 1 over 4, we are going to use square brackets now here because that is included. As you can take note that this is greater or equals to. Because of this, of that equality, that is why we've got a square bracket. Then union with 1 to positive infinity, right? Okay, cool. So I trust that you guys can really appreciate this step. It's asking us where the graph is on and above the x-axis. So you actually express those things in this fashion. So you've got 1 over 4, 1 over 4, then you've got 1. So this is how our representation looks like, in this fashion, and that can be expressed by this or by this right here. So let me quickly show you guys how you can do the table method in this thing, right? It's actually quite easier. The table method, okay, so with regards to the table method, there is no need for you, or it's not a significance for you to know how the graph looks like. You just need to know that a positive times a positive is a positive, a negative times a negative is a positive, and then a negative times a positive and vice versa is going to give you a negative. So now you've got two brackets, which is 4x minus 1. You've got x minus 1. Then you've got your critical values, which is 1 over 4 and 1, you know? Okay, cool. So now you are going to find values of x, any values of x that are less than 1 over 4, and insert them in this bracket, you know? So let's say, for example, you've got 0. If you insert 0 in this bracket, you're going to get a negative value. And then at 1 over 4, if you insert 1 over 4 in the place of x here, you are going to get a 0, right? And then any value of x that is less than 1 but greater than 1 over 4, let's say, for example, what value can that be? You know, any value that is less than 1 but greater than 1 over 4, you know, say 1 over 3, for example. You know, if you insert it here, you are going to get a positive value. And any value of x that is greater than 1, let's say 10, if you insert it in this bracket, for the place of x, you're going to get a positive value. Then coming now to x minus 1, any value of x that is less than 1 over 4, insert it here, you're going to get a negative value. Any value of x between 1 and 1 over 4, if you insert it here, let's say, for example, that is less, let's say a half, you know, you said half minus 1, you're going to get a negative value. And then at 1 here, you're going to get a 0. If you put 1 in the place of x in this bracket, you're going to get 0, you know. And then any value that is greater than 1 and insert it here, you're going to get a positive value. So now let's do this right here. This is all you need to know for for table methods, you know. So let me actually put it in clear context. So you've got two things. You've got two portions, this and this, multiplying each other. You need the values of x that are going to give you a positive, you know, value, or something that equals to 0. You know what I'm saying? And then a negative times a negative is a positive, right? And a positive times a negative is a negative, right? Positive times a positive is a positive. You know what I'm saying? Okay, great. So what you are looking for now is actually this portion. You know, this is the portion you're looking for, including this one because it's 0. This is the portion you're looking for because it says, including this one, it says 4x minus 1 times x minus 1 should be greater or equals to 0. So here it is greater than 0. Then at this point, it equals to 0. So you express that in the sense that when x is less or equals to 1 over 4, or x is greater or equals to 1, then this is going to satisfy that inequality, and you have solved for x. Do stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.